Hello, and welcome back to part 2 of how to make a chunky blanket. This is where we left off. So we've made our very first, most important part, our very first line of knots. How you want to make sure you got it all good. Remember, you put your fingers through. You want to be able to see a little bit of space. You don't want it too loose because it could come unraveled, but you don't want it too tight because it could be hard to put a knot through these. So, good way to check, fingers through. Also, depending on how big you want your blanket is how many knots you do, right? So personally for me, I like to do 30. I was taught to make 20, but I like 30 because I think it's bigger and better. So you count just, the tops of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 30. We're near the end. Quick tip. It took me 4 hours to learn how to make my first chunky blanket. I'm trying to teach you guys in like 2 videos. So be patient with yourself. Also, let me know if you have any questions. I can answer them. All right, so this is my 29th loop. This is, holding my camera, sorry. I'm gonna come through here and do my 30th loop. Here we go. Remember, you want like 2 fingers through, make it nice. And then to start your next line, you're gonna take your string that was following that way to the right. Now we're going to the left, so our string goes over to the left, and then simply you go through here and you grab it and you pull up, and then you go under your next loop, which is right here. You pull and you go up. With each of these knots that are now going to be facing upward, you want to flatten them first off, and then second, 2 fingers. Always 2 fingers, and I always kind of stretch mine out a little bit. Okay, so now you're just gonna see me speed through these and make all of my loops pulling up and, making sure they're all patted down, nice and flat, as well as counting them. Something else that I like to do is after I've made my loops, I sometimes like to go through and just pull them up a little bit to make them a little tighter. The tighter they are, the less holes you have. Could take away from the chunky look, but it makes it a lot more warmer. So here you might see me do it in just a second, like that. All right, that is another row done the exact same way that you did that next row. You do here. Let me show you one more time. All right, so our string was going toward the left because we're going that way, but now we're going towards the right. So, boop, there we go, going towards the right. And just so you know, I always count my loops every time I finish a row just to make sure I didn't miss any. So, same as before, go through here, pull up through this loop, 2 fingers, all good. And that's literally all you do for this whole blanket. You just keep pulling these loops, through like this, making sure you got 2 fingers